Two-piece furniture. It's an entertainment center. It's beautiful. It's sold for $900. It's two-piece. That's the bottom half, and the house is the top half. Here's a couple of Lego displays. These are from like Walmart or Target. Mr. Lego was there, knows everything. I trust his judgment. He says these are only worth about 50 bucks. Not really desirable by Lego collectors, but maybe entry level or something for the kids to play with. Just looking at stuff. Always going to be some electoral buttons there. Always. Daisy ephemera. There's a lot of cap guns and BB guns at this auction. Look at all these boxes of caps in their original. They were all full. And a thing, I take a look at this. The dog bottle opener looked pretty cool. Sold for $5. I love this table. I don't know why, but I don't buy it. Nowhere to put it. Auction footage of that being sold.
600, 650, 650, 650, give it all together, give it all together, give it all together, 600, 650, 600, 650, anyone? Sold, $600 right there, and 49.
Here's a bunch of cap guns, toy guns, BB guns. Just going to show you. The majority of them sold between 10 and 15 bucks each. The ones at the end sold for $5. That thing sold for $25. New in the box, BB gun. Those are actually knives. They sold for about 5-10 bucks each. More cap guns. I pick up this dagger here because I've never seen anything like it. Plastic dagger. It says made in occupied Japan. Trying to show it there. Yeah, that sold for 10. If it would have been 5, it would have been mine. Those are miniature cap guns. Some more. All different kinds. This Hubley pirate gun sold for 80 bucks. Obviously a collector. More cap guns. A lot of Spurs and Western outfits. And look at some of the old games and toys on the bottom here. Back to more guns. An old Daisy cleaning kit there. More guns. I just don't know enough about the guns to make an informed buy. Doing comps is not enough with that stuff. Showing a pigskin strop. Sort of sharpening your old razors on. The thing comps out to 20 in that condition. Red Ryder BB gun. That is a repeating ping pong ball gun. I wanted it. Sold for 35. That was above my head. I was willing to pay. It says Newell. Repeater Newell. Go look it up. I think the comps are right around 35 on them. You'll shoot your eye out, kid gun.
shut my eye out. You'll shoot your eye out, kid.
That almost looks like my dad's old Winchester up there. Showing the glass underneath. Some lapel pins, hat pins. That's a BB gun thing. Cannon. That thing sold for $25 in the box. All different kinds of toys in the box. They all got picked through and sold for $5 to $10. All these kaleidoscopes here sold for $25 to one person. I had to check out the China set, of course. Comped it out. They're only going for about $10 in the box. So I'd had to get them for like $1. But I didn't get them. Here's a henpeck, keep your kid busy thing. I actually had one of those when I was much smaller. And all the hens pecked, so. That is a Mark's toy, Honeymoon Cottage. More 60s and 70s toys back there. That's a Target inbox. They said it did work. That's just a box for the magic shot. Here's a spy camera of sorts. I wound up buying that. Maybe show it in my toy haul, or in my haul. Look at this excellent camel work here, guys. Okay, gonna show you the big ass planes. They're not worth getting unless you can strip the motors out of them, because the motor on that big long white one you just saw was worth about $110, $120. And ceiling, and then the Buffalo Bill sign sold for $115. It was pretty cool looking for sure. Those are all Goebbels except for the glass, which is St. Clair. I didn't get any of this. Goebbels aren't great in my opinion, but somebody said they're starting to make a comeback, so we'll see. I definitely wanted this, but I got outbid. I wanted that, but I got outbid. Bunch of holsters and vests and chaps and such. Some more vintage cap guns in the box. They did that for me. That is silver, not silver plating. And that I got outbid on that. And then there's this tea set I actually wound up buying. Nobody else wanted it. It's just silver plating, nothing special, but I thought it was unique. I managed to get it for $5. And I've sold stuff like this before. Just, yeah, that's St. Clair stuff down there. Some breast big ass soup ladles, wall decoration. Parker pen because it's got the arrow clip. Look, that one sold for 30, and the other two sold for 20 each. Toys, toys, toys. Stuff. There on the left is erasers that are in animal shapes. It sold pretty good. Mr. Lego there said there's only 2 things in there worth bidding on, and there's no way I could outbid him, so. But he said most of those Lego crates didn't have anything in them worth buying. But the cheapest one still went for 50 bucks, which is out of my price range. All these snow babies sold as one lot for $140. Yep, there's that. And they all have their box and all that stuff. I personally think they paid too much for them, but who knows? I mean, that's a pretty massive piece there. It's huge. And there's a couple of big pieces there. So, you know, I don't know if you can get rid of them for 20, 25, maybe not. Snow babies and precious moments. I just avoid them. Yep, all this ephemera. Those gun guys there, they shoot well. They sell well. Just don't price them not to sell. That's all. See some of that on the flea bay. Stuff. More silver plating there. That's just steel and glass. Nobody wanted this, so I wound up picking it at the end of the auction. I got it for free. It's only worth like about 10 bucks. But all the pieces seem to be there, so that was kind of cool. So I picked it up anyway. A lot of bows here. Block the light so you guys can see the name and look it up if you want. Alright, I bought that one whole flat there for 10 bucks. There's some Napco wear in them. There's some Blue Jays on the end. They comp up to about 25 to 35 just for them. I think that's what I'm showing there. Yeah. And then everything else on this shelf and the next two shelves you see, I bought for $1 a shelf. And that's everything on the shelf. So I picked through, and whatever I didn't want, I said, come and get it, guys, because the other shelves sold similarly. Somebody bought all those and picked through it, and then I went through it, and they went through mine, and so on and so forth. All the shit's free, or, you know, $1 a shelf, no big deal. That's a decal. Or for my Canadian brothers, a decal. There's a vintage Tupperware sifter. I wound up getting that, going through stuff. Stenographer's machine with ink. I wound up picking that up for $1. Get a closer look in the haul. These are all semi-precious gemstones for jewelry settings. I just don't know enough about this stuff to make an informed decision when I'm paying for the pan for them. These things, they went for like 35 bucks a flat. So I don't know. A lot of them said feldspar on them. They were marked. But yeah, there you go. The red lantern sold for 45 bucks, and the other three green ones sold for $10 as all three of them. More Legos. Comics, there's a lot more comics here than what I show. Total 70 bucks for all of them. There's probably a couple hundred of them. That's one of the Lego bins that was worth bidding on. It sold for 150 bucks. And more stuff. More stuff. This auction house is pretty good about going through the jewelry and picking out all the gold. Most of these flats, let's see, one of them went for 20 and the others went for like 10 to 15 each. There was one couple there buying up all the costume jewelry. I would have been in at $10 each, maybe, but 20 is too much, too high. Especially since I know this auction house goes through them pretty thoroughly. There's some glass, Fenton glass, Westmoreland, and a Viking. Showing them off there. Bunch of crappy knives at this auction. Fishing rod rack, hand painted, definitely vintage, was cool. Clay marbles sold for 20 bucks. I pull out a shooter here, the glass shooter, and it is cracked throughout in horrible condition. Like one more shot and it would have broke. Bunch of indie stuff because I'm in indie. That's a Laladro. Napco lady head vases. The big ones, the small ones could have been anything. Those are lady head vases. You should go comp them out. And Precious Moments coming up. Both flats sold for 40 bucks. And that's a Murano glass, made in Murano, not an actual Murano piece. And that's pretty much it. I'll show you my haul coming up soon.